Welcome to the Strength Protocol. This video contains some recommended exercises for the strength program. So for this list of exercises, you're going to break them up into 2 workouts, and you're going to perform these workouts each twice a week, one at high intensity and the other at low intensity. The one-hand alternate pinch grip is a good exercise to train open hand grip strength. So it comes first just because the hand could get sweaty and then make it difficult to grab the ViPR and control it. So this is just one, just to start conditioning that open hand grip strength. The regression of this exercise would be a 2-hand on tube, but varied the timing of the hands on the tube. Building off the one-hand pinch grip, we're going to move into the cylinder lift. We're going to perform the exercise from an on-ground position in the moderate frontal base. Just to increase difficulty, we're going with the on-ground because we want to develop that sequence and timing. But if we have to regress the exercise, then we're just going to go back to the on-end. The third exercise is from our shift series, so it's the frontal pickup shift, and it's going to be performed in the broad frontal base. Now, if we have to regress this exercise, we're just going to shift the ViPR cross body rather than up overhead. So it's just going to be pulled straight across the body to the other side on end. Now, if we have to further regress the exercise, now you're just going to move the ViPR closer to the body. Now back to our lifts. This is from our raise series. So this is going to be a broad sagittal base, and it's going to be a wide hold, and it's ground to overhead raise. If we have to regress this exercise, we can do it with a hold, or we can narrow the footprint, or we can reduce the range of motion. Going back to the shift series now, this is our steering wheel shift series, and the one that I've selected is a transverse plane one, so we're going to do external rotation step with the steering wheel shift. This exercise you may have to regress due to the complexity of the alternating variation. So to regress this exercise, you would just not alternate the exercise and just segment it to one side at a time. In the interest of bridging traditional exercises with ViPR exercises, here's one from our push press series under ViPR lift. It's just a combination of the one-arm row into the one-arm push press. So this one is actually a little bit harder than it probably appears, but that's because we can accelerate down through the lowering phase of the ViPR and really increase the demand of the deceleration phase, and then of course change in direction into the rate of force development up onto the shoulder and into the push press. To regress the exercise, we break it down into just 2 exercises. Now here's an exercise that's not too complex, but it's very metabolic, and it's just holding the ViPR in a reverse single hold, lateral to waist in a carry, and you're just shuffling forward or you're jogging forward for about 10 meters, switching hands and then returning. And this is one that's great for closed hand grip strength. From our shift series, we did a pickup shift, but now from our lift series, we want to do a pickup lift. And in here, this variation is using the offset with narrow hold, and it's a squat pickup lift into a turnaround lunge. Now what you're going to see is this is one variation. I've put on here another variation of using a reverse shovel hold. So you're going to see that in the next clip. That's going to be a progression from this variation. So going into that reverse shovel is really going to stress that back functional line just a little bit more. So it might be a little bit harder for someone to get into that range and have that decelerate or meet that deceleration demand in that reverse shovel because it's a little less familiar, but it's a really great exercise. From ViPR Battling series, we take those 3 exercises that we perform as the hooks, the kayaks, and the uppercuts, and we call them now push shifts under ViPR Strength in this part of our shift series. So we're going to use these 3 exercises with locomotion. We're doing 4 steps anterior and 4 steps posterior. So it not only does it bring the complexity up, but it also challenges stability just a little bit more, and we add a little bit more mobility. Now if we have to regress the exercise, we'll just take away locomotion and go back to a static base or a static footprint. But I still want a variation of sagittal footprint, frontal footprint, even a transverse footprint if you do choose to go static. And here's what I'm not sure many are familiar with. This is our knee throw series, and this is under ViPR strength. So with the knee throw, sometimes the ViPR can be a little light. So I would say if you absolutely have to, you can load the bigger ViPR with a smaller one. Just put the smaller one in there just to make the ViPR heavier. And as you can see, I've used a pivot lunge here just to bring the complexity up with it. Alright, so it's going to challenge the stability demand. But what we're doing is throwing the ViPR up with the leg up to the shoulder level. Here's another pickup lift, and this is reverse shovel, and this is just on end to overhead. And finally our squat pop that I've put on our other strength video. And this exercise is just going to be raw power, just driving the ViPR up, catching it and slamming it again.